That was the first thing anyone ever told me. He's like, however you are with a friend at a bar, just 5 feet away, just bring that to the mic.
Oh, that's good.
And that was like, you guys that was like the first thing anyone ever told me about it.
That's
and so
good.
I always remember that.
Yeah.
Like, how am I with like a person I like who likes me?
Yeah.
And I'm just as, then I can't bullshit.
What's up, guys? Hey, I'm Dustin Ibarra.
And I'm Greg Baldwin.
And we're podcasting.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Welcome to Good Things Are Happening.
Man, it's good to be here.
Good things are happening, dude.
It's awesome, dude.
It's
awesome,
exciting.
man.
This is awesome because like we're doing this podcast and like good things are happening. And then it's like, I feel like we manifested this kind of. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Good Things Are Happening.
I'm Greg Baldwin.
And I'm Dustin Ibarra. And what's up, Greg?
Oh, man. It's good to be here, man.
It's good to be here, bro.
It's good to be here.
It is good to be alive.
It's good to be alive, man.
I just got back from Boston.
Yeah?
I
How'd it
was
go?
out there. It was good. I did Laugh Boston, did some
Okay.
shows, and I hung out with because my fiance's from there.
Yeah.
So I stayed with her parents, and it was so cool because her parents like me,
Yeah.
I could tell they like me. Before, when I was drinking, I was a little bit like, "Ooh, I don't know if they like me." They got a lot of reasons not to like me,
Yeah.
but they do like me, and it was a good time.
That's good.
And it was cool just being around. It's cool being around a family.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they watch a lot of. I never watch TV at home, but when I'm over there, I'll like watch TV.
Yeah.
So I watched a lot of Pawn Stars.
Pawn Stars.
Pawn
That's a
Stars.
good show.
That's always on in their
Yeah.
place. The dad loves Pawn Stars. It's just always on.
Pawn Stars is great, but I've read that it's kind of fake.
I can see that.
It's all staged. In fact, one of my friends that I've known since kindergarten,
Yeah.
his dad went on the show. And they like set it all up and staged it,
Oh,
and it was
see,
like, and then
yeah.
I heard that I'm like, I stopped
It
watching
takes the wind out of your sails.
Yeah,
Right?
you're like, it's
this
not
is
even
an
real.
It's really hard to find an authentic pawn shop series these
Yeah.
days. So that's that hurts, man.
I read
You-
that they're fake, so that kind of killed it. But I still
figured
like
out.
it.
I figured out the formula for it.
Okay, what is it?
The guy goes, you go bring your stuff in, and the guy always shits on it.
He does.
He shits on it, no matter what it is. It could be like, hey, this is Abraham Lincoln's hat. It's like, well, I don't know. It's kind of dingy. It's a top hat. It's got a hole in it. What am I gonna? Who's gonna buy that? He always like shit. I'll give you $50. He always like, this is a cross Jesus was crucified on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got blood on it. It's made of wood. It's got to be hard to sell. I'll give you $25.
You know what's also authentic about it is
What?
I bet like 90% of their clients are like knocking on their door at 2 a.m. trying to pawn off a stereo to score some crack.
Dude, that's the thing. See,
Right?
that's what I would watch a show if it
That's
was
a
like
real
a real pawn shop, you
Yeah.
know? And
Yeah.
they're like, 2 a.m., maybe like Inglewood-ish,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Guy comes in, okay, a catalytic converter. You know?
Yeah.
I gotta call my
He's missing an eye.
yeah,
It's
I gotta
fine.
call my catalytic converter guy to make sure this is authentic. He's got
Where'd
his
you
little-
get this?
Ooh, this is from GM. Yeah, 1990s, I believe.
Yeah, that's hilarious, dude.
It's but it was cool, like
Yeah.
hanging there and just like getting that family time. I did shows, but it was just it was a good time.
That's
I
awesome,
like
man.
hanging out with her parents.
That's awesome.
They're cool.
That's awesome.
Boston.
Yeah, that's good, man.
How about you, buddy? What you been up to?
So I'm super fired up. I'm producing, I produce the SNL alum show,
Yes.
and I've had everybody on, tons of amazing comedians on it, and but this one I'm really fired up about.
Ooh.
It is SNL meets In Living Color meets Mad TV.
What?
So yeah,
That's a lot of comedy right there.
isn't it? So I have Kevin Nealon
Ooh.
and Jay Moore from SNL, two
Yeah.
legends, and then I have Tommy Davidson. from
He's
In
so
Living
funny,
Color.
bro.
He's the best.
Bro, I saw him in Hawaii when I was there.
You know?
He was doing another show.
Yeah,
He is so funny, dude.
yeah,
He's one of those comics that you look at and you're like, I'm never gonna be that funny.
yeah.
He's got the voices, he's got the acting. He's like,
So good.
yeah.
So
Tommy
good.
Davidson
I'm
is
so
awesome.
fucking fired up, and the improv hasn't had him there. They are
They haven't?
no, so maybe
Oh.
like a long time ago.
Look
but-
at you bringing in the people.
so
man.
it's important because they can get all the other comedians, but it's good
Yeah.
when I bring in new blood that hasn't
Yeah.
been there. And so him, and then I just added Bobby Lee from Mad TV. And well,
That's
Bobby
gonna be
Lee
a
from
good
whatever,
show.
from his
Yeah.
podcast. And
I like it. It's got a theme to it. Mad TV meets
yeah.
SNL meets
and
Living
I
Color.
get to perform with all these greats.
That's gonna be cool, man.
Yeah. So I'm super fired up. So I'm gonna do some videos. I've been getting clips from Mad TV, from In Living Color and SNL. So I'm gonna do this like these little cool videos of like Tommy Davidson. He did this karate guy.
I saw that.
Yeah, he does a karate
yeah.
guy. So I'm gonna do little clips of that and like a setup punch, 2-sentence stand-up punch for all the
Yeah.
comedians, and I do these cool little viral videos.
Have you seen Ace Ventura 2?
No,
He was in
I
that.
think. Oh, he was.
Yeah, he
Okay.
was pretty
Oh,
funny.
yeah, he was the African dude.
Yeah. The big guy comes
Yeah.
out and was like, this is the guy you got to fight. And he's like, brr. And then he turns around and Tommy Davidson is
Yeah.
on his back.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
good.
Bro,
So
that's
good.
going to be a good show, man.
So I'm fired up.
You
'cause
always freak out about those shows, too.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, man, I'm not going to get anyone. My life's going to be over. You
Yeah.
know?
It's stressful.
Yeah. I mean, I could put you on it, Dustin, but no one's going to come.
I
I'm
did
like,
put you
oh,
on.
okay,
I put you on the
You
Netflix
did.
Netflix
You did.
festival one, dude.
That was fun.
That was
a
fun.
good time.
But well, I freak out because it's hard to book, and I'm trying to book the biggest comedians in the world, and but it's working out. But the other thing is that in LA, people don't buy tickets until the last day.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I freak out. I'm like, I'll be at like, whatever ticket sales, and then going into the last day, and I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna flop.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, all the tickets sell that day.
Oh,
and then I'm like, why did I worry about that whole
that
thing?
almost happens with me. I'll be on the road and they're like,
Yeah.
we haven't got any tickets sold. And I'm like, oh, wait. And then
Yeah.
the show will be, we got to cancel the show. I'm like, oh, okay. All right.
All up until the point of
All up to everything else.
Except the last day
except
ticket
the
sales.
last minute ticket sales.
It's
Which I'm
a
working
challenge.
on that. You know,
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
But for me, like I grew up watching In Living Color and SNL,
Yeah.
and not so much Mad TV, but I'm just a huge fan. So to get to work with these guys is it's a dream come
dude,
true.
It's super cool.
Yeah.
That show's
So-
going to sell out. Yeah.
I think so. I think it should.
I'll sell merch.
Yeah, you should.
I won't even be on the
sell
show.
merch,
I'll just
dude.
be outside. Oh, weenie tip shirts. Yeah, come buy it.
Yeah, so I'm super grateful, man.
Nice.
So that's what's going on with me.
Good.
We got a great guest.
We do.
An
Are you
amazing
excited?
guest. Yeah, I am very excited. She's an actress and a comedian, and she was in. Remember, you know that show BoJack Horseman,
Of course.
right? She was in BoJack Horseman, and then she actually produced and starred in a show that I was a huge fan of. It was a online series called Bitter Homes and Gardens. If you get a chance, watch it. Google it, Bitter Homes and Gardens, and it was hilarious. It was her and her husband, and about their life and at home and stuff, and it was phenomenal. I don't think it got
Nice.
picked up, but it should have got picked up, and maybe it still can. But today's guest is a good friend of mine, an amazing comedian, Fielding Edlow.
Hey guys!
Yeah.
Yay. Thanks for having me. That was
Thanks
such a
for
nice
coming.
intro.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
That's
You had me at Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. It's like my favorite movie.
great movie.
And it-
Great movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Number 2. You know, I like 1 and 2.
You know
I
what?
might
They
like 2 a
both
little
hold up.
more.
They too. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
My brother and I. That's our go-to. And like family holiday.
There was a time when Jim Carrey could do nothing wrong.
Right?
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was everyone in
Yeah.
school. Like it was the equivalent of like when Chappelle's show was on, but for that time, just
Yeah.
people in
Totally.
school were going, "All righty
Yeah.
then." Yeah.
What about when he was on In Living Color and he Fire Marshal Santa?
What? Fire Marshal?
Fire Marshal Bill. He was Fire Marshal
Yeah.
Bill.
Oh, that's the best.
And
I gotta look
one of the
that
greatest
up.
characters of all
Yeah.
time. And then he did Fire Marshal Bill, and then he did Fire Marshal Santa.
That
was the same character. And he was like the fire guy that would go inspect the house, but he would light everything on fire.
Yes,
that's
yeah.
hysterical.
That's how you know you're like really talented when you can make burn victims funny.
I know.
You know,
Exactly.
you wouldn't think that would be a source of humor, but yeah, he pulled
Right?
it off.
I know.
Yeah.
Deaf jokes and bird victims. You're
Yeah,
nailing it.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite artists growing up?
Oh my goodness. You know, I love Margaret Cho,
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Maria Bamford.
Yeah.
I just saw her show. Talk about you're killing it. She did an 8 a.m. show in a CVS parking lot in
No.
Altadena
Shut
and
up.
sold out.
Are you serious?
Like my friend's like, I'm running
Wow.
up there. I'm running up there. I'm like, I'm saving you a seat. It was like
Wow.
Madison Square Garden. And she did the whole show was she was her mother.
Wow.
And
That's
it
so
was
cool.
And like
Awesome.
brilliant, you know, I mean, and of course it was a very specific Altadena 8 a.m. type crowd. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
they
was
weren't
wondering
like
that,
getting reamed
yeah.
in like the Dresden at 4 a.m. Like they were up ready
Yeah.
to go.
Well, she was. She does a lot of really dark material about mental health problems
Yeah.
and our life.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know, it's amazing when a comedian can take those type of issues and make it funny.
And she does
right?
it so well. I know. I just got her book actually, but I know it's like fuck you, Maria, because she's like being of service and she's hysterical.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
It's like, how good are you?
I know. It's
Yeah.
like it's infuriating, but
Yeah.
but she's
Yeah.
so nice. So yeah, that
She was always one of my favorites. Remember the
Right?
comedians of comedy?
Yeah.
That was like, it was her and Brian Posehn. and
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
Patton
yeah.
Oswalt. Yeah.
The TV show with Soren.
Yeah. That was
good.
Dude, yeah.
But
I
She
think
is awesome.
she's also. I mean, and then I also have like. I don't know what this says about me. I just really enjoy an angry man. So like,
Really?
Yeah.
Bill
so
Burr?
so like Eddie Pepitone,
Oh,
and
the
like I
best.
remember, I was just thinking also when like Mark Maron in New York, like years
Uh-huh.
and years ago, I would just be like enraptured, you know, and he'd just
Yeah.
get into a fight with an audience member.
yeah.
You know, I would just be like wet.
yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
this is amazing. You know, 'cause I grew up in New York City, so
Oh, so Lewis Black, you probably
he
like
was my
him,
first
right?
stand-up teacher
Oh,
in
you
98.
No way.
Yes,
He taught stand-up?
So
Wow.
I use quotes.
Yeah.
Like he had a stand-up class at Williamstown Theater Festival that you could take,
Yeah.
just like a seminar. And I remember he's like, just write a story, 10 minutes, true. And I had to tell it to his face with him just staring at me.
Wow.
And he's
Oh
like,
my
who cares?
God.
Just say blowjob. Everyone's so horny. It doesn't matter. Just say blowjob. But
Wow.
I did my first set under his tutelage.
That
At
is cool.
Williamstown.
Were you angry? Did that rub off on you?
I didn't realize how angry I was yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like 8 months sober
Uh-huh.
and just like walking around like, but I think I did this set. I was wearing like a see-through tank top to 1,000 people, but it was weird. Like I didn't care. I was like trying to be Courtney Love.
Oh,
And you know what I
man.
mean?
Yeah.
They're like, no, you're just like a Yiddish show pony. What are you doing?
That feels like
Yeah.
not a sober move.
Right?
Yeah.
I was still acting
It's
out.
like, I don't
Correct.
care,
Guess
you know,
what? I was
whatever.
still acting out.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, you don't drink anymore, really? Because I don't really.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lewis. I love Lewis Black.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It takes a little while in stand up to find your authentic self and to be yourself up there. You know what I
It's
mean?
weird, but you know those people, like I feel like Eleanor Kerrigan had that thing where she like got a standing ovation the first time she did stand up,
Yeah.
like the people of lightning in a
Mhm.
bottle. So I did have an amazing
Yeah.
because I think I also didn't care. Like I gave zero fucks.
Yeah.
And I
that's
told
great.
this story. Oh my God. I told a story how I was having sex with my boyfriend in high school and a condom just got lost.
Oh, Greg has that same
Are
joke.
you horrifying, right? Did you dig
Yeah.
it out?
Yeah. I finally found
You
it.
got
I'm
it.
like, oh, there it is.
Did you have to go to the hospital?
Yeah. Can
Yeah.
you make sure you keep that on next time?
Yeah, I know. I was like, can
There's
you
always
hold
room
on
for
to
you.
it? Like, I mean, I'm sorry, but are you retarded that you can't hold on to it?
Oh,
There's
God.
always room for a gay joke. in
There
I
is
love
always
it.
room for a good joke, dude.
I, you know what I think it is too? Like something about like the first, like whenever you start doing stand up, there are really no rules in your mind or anything. Now it's like I kind of like overthink everything. Like if I
Right?
have a bit, I'll like look at it and be like, okay, let me work on it. But if you have a bit whenever you first start, you're like, oh, this is funny.
Right?
You know, you don't really know what funny is. So
Yeah.
if it is funny, you're like, oh yeah.
I think that's so true where you're in that Zen weird surrender of leaving yourself alone. Like I
Yes.
wasn't like staring at the crowd, like, what do they want? Let me
No.
scoop them up like kittens.
Yeah.
It was like
Yes.
I just went out and just told the story.
Yeah.
And I think I was just innately vulnerable before
Yeah.
all of Hollywood's like, can you just like be vulnerable and bring some heart? Because we don't
Yeah.
get you're just a cunt. So just
yeah,
can you
that's-
just
everyone
kinda- you know what
loves
I mean?
vulnerability
I know, my
now. Yeah.
people are just desperate for
They are.
vulnerable. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know you guys.
I'm vulnerable.
Yeah.
I'm vulnerable on stage.
You're vulnerable.
Yeah.
I'm very
Greg
vulnerable
is very
on stage.
vulnerable. I've been getting a little more
You are?
vulnerable, but not a lot though, you know, because I'm always
what's you being vulnerable?
just talking about sobriety and
Yeah.
stuff, you know.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
You
I
had a
think
great
I'm so
time in there, but
snarky.
you're just like pure. You're pure funny.
I do a lot
Fun-
of
you're
fast
pure
food
funny.
stuff.
That's
and
what you are.
so-
You're pure funny.
Oh, well, thank you, Greg.
Yeah.
I
Mixed-
love you, man. You always
Yeah,
make
yeah.
me feel good, dude. Thanks, man. I wish some of those audiences would have thought that, Greg.
Yeah.
That was pure fun.
No, you're always
Yeah.
funny, dude. You kill every time. You were talking about the first set. I think it's very common that people have good first sets and then the second and third they bomb.
Oh, the worst.
You know,
Yeah.
and
You're like, who should I even be living?
it's like yeah,
You know,
exactly.
you're like,
exactly.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna put my head in the oven. Like,
It's like-
no note.
There's something about bombing for the first
in
time.
the,
You're
in
like,
the beginning,
"Whew,
because
that's-
everyone's like, "Well, is it a calling? Is it a
Yeah.
calling? Ask yourself in the dead of night. And you're like, I don't fucking know. I had one
Here-
great set and people think I'm funny.
Yeah.
This is what I think. I think that for people that are meant to do stand up and are supposed to do it, you get that first good set
Yeah.
because you're like, oh my God, that is amazing. I want that again.
Yeah.
And if I would have went and just totally tanked the first time, I might have been like, ooh, I don't know.
I don't know if I want to do
That's
this
true.
anymore.
It's sort of like
Yeah.
the comedy muses are they're on your side.
Yes.
Is that what you mean? Sort
Yeah.
of, it's like you
Maybe.
kind of
comedy gods.
the comedy
or
gods or,
muses.
whatever. Yeah.
We will give him a good set in the first,
I
first show.
Well, like
Yeah.
I
lift
bless
the
thee.
blow the roof off the place where
Yeah.
people, the head of the festival's like, you've got this. You're,
Yeah, yeah,
you're really
yeah.
talented fielding. You're like, watch me go. I'm the new Janine Garofalo. And then you're like,
Yeah.
no. Just wait.
Yeah.
Just wait a
Yeah.
couple
Then reality
years.
sets in.
Maybe 6, 7, 8 years before you have.
I
you know.
definitely had that where the first set, because I was in high school at the time and I brought everyone
wow.
from
So
school.
crazy.
That's
I
amazing.
brought everyone from school. I had a guitar, played some funny songs, and I'm like, ooh, I'm awesome.
Yeah.
Then your next set, no one comes out.
Right.
And then you're like, ooh, am I funny? Am I even
I know.
good? Like maybe I should not do this, you know?
And then thus the battle for
Yeah.
years to come.
And it
Right?
still
You know?
happens.
I know.
Still happening to this day.
Still happening
Still
to this
happening.
day.
I know,
you know?
which is good.
Mhm.
You
It
know,
is good. It keeps
Otherwise,
you-
you're kind of a prick.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's
Right?
like it's a never ending thing too
Yeah.
with stand up. You know what I'm saying? You
That
know, I feel like
that
it's
spirit of artistic restlessness,
Yeah.
spiritual
Yeah.
restlessness.
yes, it's never
Yeah.
gonna
Right.
be
Which
done.
is good.
It's
That
just-
means we're a little bit humble.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know.
Oh, yeah. This shit'll humble you.
ne-
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
You feel
it's
like
so
you're
humble. I know,
badass. Then
right?
10:30 late show. You're like,
Oh my
"Ooh,
God, I
that
know."
was rough."
Daryl and I talk about it. Daryl Hammond and I talk about it. Careers. He always says careers end on the second show Fridays. Because second show
Ooh.
Fridays are really, really hard because they're tired from the week
Yeah.
and they're drunk. And
I love that.
so he said, yeah, careers end from second show Fridays. But, it's like, I think it's like you're killing all these sets and you're like, oh my God, I got this, you know? And
Yeah.
then there's always that humbling point where you're just like, oh, wow, maybe I don't,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And then
And
it keeps you grounded.
Right. And then also there's times where I feel like, wait, why am I bringing my best stuff to some like open mic years
Yeah.
ago?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
what the fuck are you doing? Like, just, I need to literally fall on
Work
my
on
face.
stuff,
Like, yeah,
you know?
work on shit. Yeah.
He's good at that. You work on on new material. But
That's great.
I'm going to make an excuse for it. You have, 3 sets a night, 7 nights a week.
I get to go up a lot.
I don't go
but
up that
that's
much.
the thing. If I go up a lot, I feel like I'll feel the guilt of like, why am I doing old stuff? Because
Yeah.
I'm just like stroking
Sure.
my ego.
Yeah.
but then
it's
you're
like,
the Rolling Stones bring out their greatest hits.
Yeah,
I mean, you're gonna bring a jumping jack
Yeah.
flash because then you can also have that
Exactly.
little tweak where you're like, oh, maybe I found a little tag. for
Yeah,
that,
I
or
got
a little
an
something.
extra solo for Freebird this time.
But-
you know? Yeah, they haven't heard
in
this.
defense,
Freebird.
in defense of that, it's like I've had some material that, and you really helped me out with this, that I've been doing for a long time, but it wasn't done yet. And I didn't know how to fix it. And then I like started working with you and Jay
that's
more helped me
cool.
out. And then you're like, oh, edit. You used to always say edit. And then you take that material and then now, and you edit it down.
Well,
now
yeah,
it's good.
dude, I think that helps with like having a different set of eyes on whatever you're
Yeah.
working on,
Yeah.
whether it be like a screenplay or a
Mhm.
pilot, man.
Totally.
Or stand up, you get a different perspective. It's like, oh, here's what you're doing wrong here, like that. Like I've got friends who have given me so many tags,
Right.
Yeah.
Like when I first started, my
Totally.
closer was a tag that someone gave me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always felt
Totally.
guilty
Me too.
about that too, but it was like, yeah, they just
Someone
help
just
out.
like got off the thing. Like I think Deborah DiGiovanni, I was telling her something
Oh,
because
she's
people
a
fuck up
killer,
my
yeah.
name sometimes, and she's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, what do they say? You're feeling elbow." And like
Oh.
people lose their shit when I say that
Yeah.
sometimes, and it was like
It's
that was
great.
like an opener for me.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
just she just said it off the cuff. It's like
I love
people
that.
just give you shit. You're like,
Yeah,
okay. yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's the worst though when they're like, I wrote that. They tell the people in
Oh,
the back, like, you piece of shit.
I know. Shut the
I
fuck
fucking-
up.
I've
What do
given
you
you a
want me to
couple tags.
Venmo
You
you?
kidding me?
You want me-
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, you're fucking Cash App,
You gotta be
piece of
quiet
shit.
about
Yeah,
it.
just-
yeah.
Come on, we're all just walking each other home.
So
Yeah.
we were just hanging out with 2 comedians. We were just sitting with Bobby Lee and Brittany Schmidt, right? And we were just
I love
sitting around
Brittany,
talking.
yeah.
And then someone was talking about CODA meetings.
Oh,
Right?
Yeah,
Oh, you're talking
I
about-
was talking about
Yeah, you were
that.
talking.
You were
Okay, I
talking
didn't want to
about
call you
CODA.
out.
I was like, I think I might be codependent, I'm thinking about going to some meetings.
And then Brittany Schmidt said, yeah, but you can't find anyone to go with.
Ah!
And I'm like, oh my
That's
God,
great.
that's
That's
it.
great.
Oh, it's perfect.
That's
yeah.
great. Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
brilliant
I feel
joke.
like Yeah, Coda's interesting. I've heard of some rumblings about Coda.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I've
don't
Googled
either.
it a few times.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm hungry.
I mean, I'm a rabid codependent. So I like
See,
my other
I
shit.
think I am too. I've been told
I think
that.
most comedians are because
Probably,
just on a base
yeah.
level, we're like, just tell me I'm okay. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like, I feel like I
yeah.
came out of my mother being like, does
Yeah.
anybody here like anything about me?
Yeah,
know what
did
I
that
mean?
hurt? I'm sorry.
Yeah, but okay, I'm so sorry. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
So we're gonna break some news on this podcast that you haven't talked about. We talked about before the podcast. So I was a big fan of your show, Bitter Homes and Gardens.
I so appreciate that. I remember we are still pitching it, by the way.
You are still
Yes,
pitching
but
it. Good.
Thank you. I
And-
really appreciate that.
And you and your husband Larry at the time, there it is.
Breaking
that was the
news,
news.
everybody.
Breaking news, yeah,
My
they-
God, Fielding's on the market. Just stop the podcast. My
Yeah.
God, that middle-aged fucking
Exclusive.
housewife
Now
is
from
on
a-
the market. Like, stop it.
Now from a word from our sponsors, eHarmony is.
Guys, she was waitlisted on Raya, but follow her home for an expired power bar and a mediocre hand job that leaves you both in tears.
So, but here's what I was thinking, because you guys were so great on that show together, and a lot of your stand-up was about
I
you
know.
being married
I
to
know.
Larry and talking.
Oh my God.
And talking
yeah.
I
smack
had
about
to
Larry.
dump everything.
You had to dump it all.
That's tough.
A lot. I mean, I basically have a new solo show
Okay.
about it called
Okay.
Gaslighting is My Love Language.
I would
Okay.
have stayed in the marriage.
No,
Yeah,
my
just
friend
for the-
Kira was
just
like-
for the material. Like, I want to end this, but
100%. I remember
yeah.
calling my friend Kira, who's, you guys know Kira Sultanovich, and
Yeah.
being
Yeah,
like,
she's a killer.
I'm not
She's great.
happy, but I'd have to write a whole new set.
Yeah.
And she's like, I know, it's tough. Maybe you shouldn't.
You
Maybe you
think-
shouldn't leave.
You think Fielding didn't stay in the marriage for an extra 6 years?
Yeah, just writing.
100%,
Just 'cause of that
for, like,
material.
I'm like, well, I'm like, he just got a residual check in the mail with nothing in it, just a note that said stop acting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be tough.
It was tough.
Writing new material, like especially when you have to write a whole lot. Like say
Oh
you've
my
been
God.
back into a town or you were there recently, and you're like, oh, they just saw all this shit, and then
Right?
just the pressure of that, you know?
I mean, the thing is, people would make a joke, like, be like, oh, like you talk about yourself for 10 seconds and then you just character assassinate your husband for 20 minutes. You know what I mean? And so, like, I would, and like, you kind of, who's the messenger, right? So I would feel like I should be talking more about myself in
That's
a way.
good.
I should, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I always had that in the back of my head. So it wasn't a terrible thing. It was like, no, I need to push myself as
Force
a
you to
comic.
grow.
And
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
is you said it's a one man show. Do I say one woman show or one man show?
You can say whatever. It's
Okay.
solo, one woman. I did
What is
it.
it?
2024.
A one-day show?
Mike, I was a women's
Yeah.
studies minor. God damn it.
Oh no,
No.
one person show.
No. I did it in Edinburgh, so I just got back from
How
Edinburgh.
is that? I
Oh.
heard that that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's like a million shows, right? For those of y'all who don't know, there's this festival
Yeah.
in where is it?
Edinburgh.
In Scotland?
Yeah, Scotland
Yeah.
or somewhere.
It's in Edinburgh.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
We're
where is
like
that place?
9,000 miles. I don't know. I get my news from
It's in
t-shirts.
Tucson,
I'm like-
Arizona.
And everyone's just doing shows, right?
Yeah.
And there's you just go and you have a
It's a crazy, like, low-grade Coachella where everyone
Okay,
is just like
okay.
Epcot Center. It's insane. I mean, there are like fucking sick maniacs who do the whole month. So
Okay.
you're doing like 28 shows with one break.
That's
You
and
know?
are people there?
Yeah, this
That's
was
what I was thinking.
Yeah, it is fucking hard to get an audience.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
it's like if you get the publicist and you are a name, you're great. But if
Yeah.
you're a fucking nobody, you have to like. I mean, I'm too old to be handing out flyers, so I pay.
That's a
someone
hard hustle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
not,
no way.
that's a hard
Yeah,
hustle,
yeah,
and
yeah,
also
yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Mhm.
So but it's amazing. It's an amazing time. I mean,
Yeah.
you feel like you're in college, but you're like, wait, I'm over 40, and like, what's going on? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's intense. I recommend it.
Yeah.
So whenever you do the shows, I hear they give you there's a bucket outside
Yeah,
or something,
yeah.
and then people
Tip
like
bucket?
And
Yeah,
sometimes
there's a
you hear
tip
the
bucket.
like coins or like the
Oh,
I know, and
yeah.
you're like, I was better than that.
Don't
Don't give me your fucking
Get some
euros, you
paper.
piece of shit.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
bled out about my divorce. No, but
Yeah.
it's super fun. And also the show, it teaches you a lot because the shows were like not a big laugher show. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, you guys are good listeners. But
Yeah.
they might come up to you and be like, brilliant. absolutely brilliant. But you have you have no idea how people are receiving you.
Okay.
Like the drunk rugby coach and his like barkeep mistress, Mean Mel. They like, I was like, are we having a threesome? Because like they stayed and they would like, so I do feel like people are innately more like curious and just reverent about stand up there. Like I do think the crowds are, I like them
that would
better.
bug me.
It
you
would.
know? But what's like, I guess if I'm doing something deep and like emotional, then I'd be like, okay, I'm not looking for a laugh right here. You know?
Oh, you would.
Yeah,
It makes
I don't
you
know my dad.
stronger.
If you did a whole show without getting laughs, you would have an emotional breakdown.
Oh, that I would, dude. I would relapse.
Oh yeah, no,
I've done that. I've done.
Oh, you have a
shows
dark
with
night of
very
the
little
soul
laughs.
for sure,
Yeah,
but it makes you stronger because you're
Mhm.
like, I didn't die. I'm not gonna like,
Yeah.
you know, take a fucking fistful of Ambien and call it a night. You know.
So do you have like props on set? Because the only like one man show I've seen
that's
is
good,
like
Great
Wazamo.
question.
You know?
Oh, I saw him in New
Yeah.
York. Yeah, I love seeing. Yeah. Props. So you can't really bring anything. Like you'll go on like a WhatsApp thread and be like, anyone have like a mummy mask or like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of like chat about it, but you kind of just do it bare bones. Like it's really about the words and just connecting. And I worked really hard on just like connecting with the crowd. It made me much better,
good.
like crowd work.
Okay, whenever you're writing that, do you write it down? Is it like a stand-up set where you write it out in bullet points or whatever, or do you do the whole show like written out?
The solo show is written out completely.
Word for
and
word.
they're
Okay.
Like, but you're great question because Alex Edelman, I don't know if you guys saw his show Just for Us.
Mhm.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was like an HBO.
He just
won an Emmy.
for it.
Yeah. I mean, he's like won anything you could possibly win. He won.
Oh, he
Yeah.
has.
I
Yeah.
know he's infuriating, but I like.
We would
but-
hang out in New York together.
He's
but We
great.
kind of started around the same time.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean,
Isn't that
he's a
weird whenever you
monster.
see these people? It's like, and he won an Emmy. It's like, whoa, what? Whoa, what
You're
have you
like
been
a
up
drama
to,
desk, a
man?
BAFTA, an Oscar. It's like he's unstoppable.
Everything. Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
I saw it twice his show, but he just had an outline. So I'm
okay.
mesmerized by like I can't do that.
That's interesting.
yeah, he just has an outline, but I have it's written out like a play, but I go off script
Okay.
sometimes
that's
because
good.
otherwise it's boring for me and for people.
Mhm.
Like have to go off. A little bit.
So I used to have it like word for word.
Yeah.
And then, but I would write it. And then
Yeah.
what would happen, I was doing stand up how I wrote
Okay.
and not how I talked.
Right.
So I wouldn't talk the way that I was talking because that's how I wrote. So then I started doing bullet points. And I think I saw I heard Bill Burr used to just do bullet points. So then I started doing bullet points. But then it becomes word for word once I figure out how to communicate it. But
Yeah.
Yeah, you just find. I mean, I'll never forget. I mean, going
Everybody's
back
different.
to Lewis Black, that was the first thing anyone ever told me. He's like, however you are with a friend at a bar, just 5 feet away, just bring that to the mic.
Oh, that's
That's good.
good.
That
And
is
that was
good.
like, you guys fucking. That was like the first thing anyone ever told me about it.
That's
and so
good.
I always
Yeah.
remember that. Like,
Yeah.
how am I with like a person I like who
Yes.
likes me,
Yeah.
and I'm just as then I'm not. I can't bullshit.
Yeah.
I saw Gary Shandling's documentary.
Yeah, me
And
too.
he
Yeah,
had
I
a
loved
note
it.
sheet,
Yeah.
which that was great. That documentary was great for a stand-up because there were so many things I learned from it about being a stand-up. But one of the things I saw in his note sheet was be the best Gary you can be
I
on
love that.
stage.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
be the best version of
And
yourself.
only like Gary knew what that was, or only
Yeah.
we know what that
Mhm.
means.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like I don't know, my friend Al used to be like, whatever you bring, whatever you were like that day, like you just bring your day on stage and where
Mhm.
you're
Yeah.
at, whether I'm like tired or angry or whatever. Just
It's
be
weird.
that.
There are a bunch of
You
different
know?
little rules you
I
hear
know.
in comedy, and no one really knows what the right ones are.
Right.
They just kind of take what works for you.
But you're right in what you were saying before, though, about like that beautiful, innocent thing when you first start, where it's not cluttered either.
Yeah.
So I also don't want to be so cluttered. Like just
Yeah.
kind of let go when you. Do
It's
it.
hard, it's
Yeah.
like you try to be present and
Yeah.
in the sports world it's like Joe Montana. You want to how consistently be in the moment where you can deliver and perform under pressure.
Right.
It's the
Under
zone they
pressure,
call
right.
it. You're getting the zone.
Yeah.
And so, it's like the same with a comedian. It's like, how do you get to that point where you're just free and in your body and not in your mind? As soon as like I'm doing stand up and I go up here and I start thinking like, oh, I got to do this next spot set,
Yeah.
or that didn't work, so I got to do this. What
Right.
joke should I do? And I'm spending too much time
Yeah.
up here. then I lose down here.
Yeah.
You know?
Just that being in the moment thing,
Yeah.
you know. And for me, like I really struggled with that after I quit drinking, because I would drink and it would chill out my nerves and I'd be like, oh, I'm in the zone now. And then now it's kind of like one of those, you got to think about it a little bit, you know. It feels a little harder, you
That's
know,
really
but-
interesting. So I've never had a drink before during stand-up because I was sober
Oh,
before.
you started.
So you've
Yeah, me
never,
too.
like,
I've
yeah.
never,
me too.
yeah. So, but they're definitely like, I don't get a lot of drink signals or whatever, but a couple of times are Larry, who I like to call my husband, because
Yeah.
ex-husband sounds
Husband, that's
ex-husband sounds
That's
aggressive
good.
because he's my husband. But I would say, like, I would complain to him sometimes, like, I wish I could just fucking just have one, like, I feel like I'd be better
Yeah.
with one, you know,
Yeah.
and
I-
he'd be like, well, why don't you just pretend, like, just act as if. He wasn't very
I try to do
recovering.
that. Yeah, I'm like, let's just. I'll have an
Yeah.
imaginary shot.
Yeah.
Sometimes, it's like, okay, what are you fucking doing?
It's hard.
I've
It's
never
hard.
I've never drank during doing stand up.
Yeah.
But I snorted meth and
Okay.
and did a play.
You know what? Can we just stop the episode right now? Because then you're the hero. You're the hero. I don't
That's
even know what that
amazing.
looks like. Did you do long days journey into night? Like hopped up on meth?
I stayed up all night smoking meth and
Oh my
snorting
God.
meth, and then I had to do a play. I hadn't slept, and I was snorting meth right before
I mean,
the
was
play.
this at like the Dubuque Community Playhouse or where was this? Like,
It was off Broadway. No,
Oh, because I was like, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about the Barrymore?
Oh,
or
that's
like,
a one-man show right there.
Yeah.
Just a methed out guy,
Right,
you know.
right. or the Malibu Playhouse
Yeah.
too.
yeah, the last 3 hours.
Right? Yeah,
I
exactly.
survived, but I'm like, okay,
That's amazing. Yeah.
So I did what any normal person would do. I quit acting.
Okay.
So,
Mm,
all right, now actually, that was the point where I'm like, okay, I can't.
That was your
stop.
bottom. That was your theater bottom.
That was my theater bottom.
Your
where-
theater bottom.
Which it was kind of devastating too, because
Yeah.
I was studying with a woman named Jean Shelton, who studied under Stella, who's like the preeminent acting teacher in theater. You know, she ran this theater company, and she asked me, she was retiring, she wanted me to be the co-lead in her final
Oh,
play.
wow.
And I was using meth, and I had to turn it down because I knew I couldn't stop, and
Mm.
I couldn't stop because that one night. And I knew, so I turned it down, and that's still one regret. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
so.
We have
Anyway.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the podcast just took a negative turn.
No, hey man, this was like, yeah. we
Good things are
got regret.
happening.
Good
Yeah,
things are
but-
happening,
but-
but
hey,
Gently littered with regret.
That's our podcast. Yeah.
Just
It
very
goes, we'll have
lightly.
highs and
Yeah.
then that happened.
Lightly
Yeah.
marinated with some, you know,
Yeah.
quiet devastation. Like, never made that UCB team because I was too panicked.
That's interesting that you didn't so your whole time performing, you've never been drunk or anything.
No, but it's funny when listening to you guys, like, because I got sober at 24, so I wasn't drinking. However,
Mhm.
I also had a shitload of just fear, like preternaturally, just
Yeah.
really. So, for example, yes, I wasn't drinking, but I felt paralyzed because I hadn't really come into my own and just realized like
Yeah.
other tools. So, you know, in improv, I remember not going out, not being a great auditioner. Like you have those showcases with teachers, like people you put on a pedestal, and you could actually have scenes with them, and I'd be too scared.
Yeah.
Like I just watched them on the sidelines. So
Okay.
it's like I was sober,
yeah.
but I was fucking scared out of my
No,
mind.
fear.
So take
Fear's a
risks, the
big-
fear.
yeah.
And it wasn't until I really got more meditation, and it just took me a while to thaw out.
What do you think
Yeah.
it is? Because I kind of I seriously I
Yeah.
want to know, because I go through that, you
Yeah.
know, with fear, like stage fright that
Yeah.
I've never had before, you know,
with
and just-
insobriety? stage
yes,
fright.
and weird fears about just talking to people, having a conversation, auditions. You know, I
Totally.
felt like my
Yeah.
auditions when I was drinking were a little more
Yeah.
like loose and this, and now I have this like this weird like grip sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, how did you get past that?
Well, you know, it's funny because we were talking about like codependency. So I think at the
Mhm.
root of my fear is this also weird, sort of pernicious, just people pleasing. Like
Okay.
my
Me too.
fear is that how you're going to perceive me, and what's the emotional fallout going to be if I don't do well? I think
Mhm.
I'm afraid of the car ride home. What's going to
Yeah,
happen after?
yeah,
Like, how am I going to
yeah.
talk to myself? So I mean, can we not be anonymous here or talk about program? I go to a 12-step for
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could
I
keep
go
it
to
vague.
Al-Anon. So
Yeah,
I go to
yeah.
Al-Anon and I
Yeah.
meditate
Yeah.
and,
yeah,
and
yeah,
yoga
yeah.
and those, and also yoga and just I have to do a lot. I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, I've been
Yeah.
sober 26 years. I have to do a lot to just
Be normal.
Because, yeah, and also
Right?
I think and I think
just ground zero.
I know after 40, get divorced. I'm like, I actually don't give one fuck when anyone thinks of me now.
yeah.
So it's just time. But I think that I don't know. I'm like, I just got tired of that. I'm like, what is the worst that's gonna happen? Like you follow
Yeah.
the fear through. I don't know for you how it translates exactly, but I mean, I don't like having that regret that you were talking
Yeah.
about either.
Me
Like
neither.
I'd rather
No.
just do something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I-
So meditation and yoga and
Al-Anon.
12 steps.
I would
do
be
a
not
12
sitting in
step.
this room right now if
Yeah.
I didn't have that.
We've
Okay.
talked. I think we talked about it on this program before. It's like
What?
in order for me just to be
just to get
No,
be
no.
ambulatory.
just to be like get out of bed and be
Yeah,
okay
yeah.
and like
Yeah.
functionable in society. I gotta meditate. I gotta pray. I gotta help somebody. I gotta go to
Oh
a
my
meeting.
God.
It's like, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I can breathe.
It's unending. My fucking astrologer was like, maybe you should do the artist way again. I'm like, I did that, bitch. She's like, let's pick it up again. You know. So
Yeah.
it feels you'll experience relief. Like the good news is you don't have to be. You know, it will get better. It's just that one was the 3P is like people pleasing, perfectionism, and procrastination.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah.
3Ps are
I'm
like
learning
the-
a lot on this one. This is a good. No, seriously.
This is
'cause
amazing.
yeah, this is one because it's been popping up in my life. So I just like
Mm.
asking people, like, especially like,
It's
yeah, just
huge.
dealing with a fear and just like,
It's
that-
huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get me wrong. Like I have my things that I go to, like sugar and inappropriate texts.
Yeah, yeah,
like I
yeah,
have my
yeah.
things, but yeah, I think
Mine
sometimes
sugar,
it's
yeah.
just, I think we're hard on ourselves. So sometimes it's also just time. Like it's literally just time and giving and like listening to people and just leaving yourself alone.
Hey guys, I'm Cecily, the producer of Good Things Are Happening. We got a sponsor. It's Surfshark. Surfshark is a VPN or virtual private network, a tool that hides your online activities from third parties snooping around and collecting data, like the sneaky bastards that they are. When I travel, I set my location to home so that I can log in securely and work on behalf of my clients. I'm also learning Italian, and when I want to really get immersed, I can watch the news in Italian by setting my location to Rome or Milan. Protect your online privacy. Become invisible online with Surfshark VPN. And with our link, you save 83%. On the Surfshark One VPN Plus, you also get 3 months extra. That's $2.69 a month. Get Surfshark. Click the link in the description or on our website, goodthingspod.com, and surf safely with Surfshark.
Yeah, dude, I've been getting into manifestation lately
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I've been listening to I listen to sleep affirmations.
Ooh.
And
Yeah,
stuff.
me too.
Yeah. Which
Like
do
right
you
when you're
listen to
falling
that?
Yeah, I've been
asleep.
doing
Yeah,
those too.
right when
Yeah.
you're falling asleep.
You're a rock star.
I did.
Yeah, shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, people
Oh.
are drawn to you, and there's some that are like, I like the ones that are like the character building, but some of them are just straight up like, you're gonna have a Corvette. You will be
Oh,
rich.
wow.
You will have a 12-inch
Right.
dick. Like,
Right,
whoa,
right.
yeah.
You're gonna be in Zuma Beach.
Yeah. Who is this?
With Scarlett Johansson's gonna be going down on you on your chalet at Swiss Alps, and you're like, okay, like maybe in a movie.
Hey,
Yeah.
then
Well,
it
that already
happens.
happened,
Like,
right?
hey, manifestation.
Manifestation.
Works.
I mean,
yeah.
you got
No.
Jack Black. Maybe
But
you're the new Jack
who
Black.
knows? But yeah, it's interesting because like I do that, but then I also want to get into this thing where it's like a vision board. Have you heard
I've
of
done a
those?
bunch of vision
Does that?
boards.
What do you think about the vision
Yeah.
board?
Does it work?
I've seen an old. I actually used one in like the set of my solo show. Like I had
Yeah.
a vision board. I'm like trying to be like I'm Jewish Carrot Top, but
Yeah.
you know what? I did cut out a picture of a married couple, and she was like, there was like a baby in her lap,
Oh, okay.
and it was beautiful, and it was a beautiful picture. Like I don't look like this woman, but
Yeah.
it happened, you know,
Okay.
and I have. So yeah, I do believe in that. I think Maria Bamford talks a lot. I think it's whatever you're drawn to.
Okay.
Whatever kind of creative. I think that sleep thing is great because I think I'm just like pissed at my daughter who's like I have a 12-year-old who acts like a 48-year-old divorcee. And I'm like, get the fuck out of my bed. Like, why are you so like resentful and over it? Like she should listen to this podcast. But I love that idea too, because I think whatever is like going through your head as you're falling asleep. And I also love that liminal space when you wake up of what am I inviting in as I wake up.
Yeah, I think there's because it talks about how you've got this subliminal wiring, you know, that's in there, and that's got to be like washed out. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Well, that's the the Tony
great.
Robbins book. It's like opening up positive neural pathways.
Yes.
And I think some of the tools like that for me are gratitude lists.
Yes.
And looking at the positive things that are happening in my life, you know, and it's we were talking about it earlier. It's like, you know, I could have all 99 positive things and then there's one negative thing and all I think about is the one negative thing.
Of course.
Yep.
You know, I'm drawn
You're
to
just
that.
drawn to that. And it's like some illusory sense of like control. Like I can control my little fucked up universe instead of being like, let's see what happens.
It might, and it might be tied into like survival instincts.
Yeah,
you know,
what we
like,
learned in
fear
our
comes,
childhood.
Yeah,
right?
And like fear comes from like it's like, you know, there's a fucking saber-toothed tiger over there or some shit. You know?
Yeah,
I'd be afraid.
I'm
not gonna go
a fucking
walk
tiger
with
under
it.
the sofa. You're like, well, I don't know
what's my saber-toothed tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's but it's funny when you're done the neural pathways. Okay, you want me to have a vulnerable moment?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Vulnerable. Hang on one second. This vulnerable moment is brought to you by.
Hold on. Take a drink of your pee.
Oh yeah. Who said it's my pee? It could be someone else's pee. Uh-oh, I'm gonna drink the pee.
Oh Jesus! All right.
All right. What's the vulnerable moment? What is it?
So I joined a new 12-step program that has the worst name.
Wait, hold on. You said you joined a nude 12-step?
Nude
12-step.
yeah.
Holy
They're like,
smokes. I'm going to go to this
that
one.
Mom with the negative A cup. Let me at her. Let me fucking get on her.
Yeah, I want to go to a nude 12-step program.
Schlobbing my knob.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Schlobbing my knob.
I know. I'm like a high school boy. Like
That's a good one. I like
there was a
schlobbing
song.
my
There
knob.
was a schlob the knob song in my high school. But anyway, back to vulnerability.
Okay,
but I
what
think it
is
was okay. So
a new 12
yes.
steps. Okay.
I just feel like we're being emotionally honest and revealing. So
Yeah.
it's UA, Under Earners Anonymous.
Oh.
Meaning under
Under-earners.
being, like not just under earning, just how am I under being and not being my best, biggest self in the world.
Oh,
and like
that's a good one.
sabotaging myself.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
and that's been, I'm like, fuck, like that's the thing I've been struggling with the most. I mean, I have a whole host of things, but
now, do you feel like is that like you're basically saying like I'm not living to my fullest potential?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think, that goes, and I think it made it, the fear thing. It's the, you know, and how am I shrinking? How am I shrinking? Or and like I've surrounded myself with fucking toxic narcissistic friends who don't support me. Not all of them. And sort of with my divorce, I'm like, I'm divorcing everyone. I want everything.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the UA Under Earners, they talk about, even because it's sort of off what you were just saying, prayer formations. So all through the day, how I'm talking to myself like a child, like, way to go, Fielding. I really like the way you made that coffee. Like your success,
okay.
your success belongs to God or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
But if you're doing that sort of, I mean, not all day long, then you can kind of do anything because you know you're going to speak to yourself really nicely no matter what.
Oh,
And for
I
me,
like that.
it's rewiring.
Yeah.
So no matter what, like if Larry, like fucking, he was my ex.
I like the way you said his name. Larry.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know, Fielding. You've been doing this for 10 years. You know, you still need to nap for 3 hours for a 10-minute set. You know whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's the way.
I take naps like that.
Yeah. And he's not
I'll
wrong.
totally tell my fiance too. I got a show tonight. You know? Come on.
Yes, he's like, we have to tiptoe around you all day because you have an 8-minute set in the Yoo-Hoo room, you fucking loser.
Yeah, I need my rest.
Yes.
I need to be 100%.
Yeah, he's like, why can't you be a professional? Like, be Bill Burr. And I'm like, what are you talking about? But, you know, he's not wrong. He's not totally wrong, by the way. But it's that thing that again, I feel like, oh, should I do this? But it's like, being being humbled to be like, well, I need all of that. I like, you know, I need to like put my hand over my heart and call myself sweetheart.
Oh, that's
You know,
good.
it's-
Yeah. No, I like that.
I
Yeah.
relate to that so much because maybe somewhere deep down, you know, and being a drug addict and the things I've done, maybe like I feel like I don't deserve that success.
Yes.
And giving my permission. I wrote this,
Yes.
I was doing this mindfulness meditation thing last week. And the guy that was walking me through it, he gave me a thing. He said, allow yourself to be what you already are. You know, give yourself
Ooh.
permission to be what you already are. And for me, it was
I love that.
a great comedian, you know. I
love that.
The other thing too is the blocks. There's those sabotage blocks, but there's also the ones where, like, if I go do a different show and I try a new joke and it totally tanks and it caused me total amount of pain, then I unconsciously I don't want to go through that pain again, so I won't do that same thing.
Right.
You know, or if something in my regular life gives me pain, then my body, my instincts are telling me don't do that again because it's going to cause you pain. But the only way to grow is to put yourself in those situations and go through that pain. So, you know,
it's like we're inherently pleasure seekers because we're recovering addicts. But I think, it's exactly what you're saying. It's like, well, if I'm saying great job, like you made the fucking coffee, but it's like I'm also going to be saying great job. You tried that joke. It didn't work. But you did it.
Yeah.
And you believe in that joke and you're supposed to do it 3-5 times anyway before you know if it works.
Yeah.
So it's like, just keep going. Just keep going.
Whoa!
Who's that?
Who's that? That's our Good Things Are Happening pod
Producer Cecily Korst. Oh my God, what are you doing here?
Wow, that's an awesome shirt. Where'd you get that? It says Good Things Are Happening. That's the name of our podcast.
Got it from the website.
What?
Yeah.
There's merch on our website?
Everybody has merch, dude. We can't get away with not having merch.
There's a way that people can support the Good Things Are Happening podcast by buying merch? That's crazy.
What?
It's cool merch, too.
Good merch.
It's good merch. Check it out. GoodThingsAreHappeningPod.com. Is that the website?
That is. Good thing.
Oh, yes.
You're right. Oh,
I did.
fuck when you do that.
Yeah, check it out, guys. We got a bunch of things on there. We got shirts, hoodies. Do we have socks?
We don't have
We
socks.
should get socks.
We should get
Socks are coming.
Socks are coming.
But yeah, if you want to support the podcast, go to goodthingsareHappeningPod.com. Check out the merch section. We got a ton of things on there. And have fun. Spread the word. Spread the podcast.
Good things are happening.
Good things are happening.
Good things are happening.
Yeah.
I made a decision like a month ago or 2 months ago. I was having a lot of anxiety about this SNL show.
Yeah.
And is it going to work out in my career? And nothing's going to happen. And, you know, all this stuff. And I'm just always just tormenting myself. And I just made a decision. I said, you know what? I'm just going to be happy. And like, if you told me like I'd be performing with all these greats and doing all these things, you know, a while back, then I'd be like, if I got that, then I'm good. But now those things are here and I'm not good. So I'm like, you know what? If this is as much as I get, the success that I have, and I can pay my bills and I could live comfortably and I could do what I love, then I accept that and I'm going to be okay with right where I'm at and this level of success. And I made that decision. I started being happy full time. And
Full time.
Full time.
Whoa.
Full time.
Wow,
Full
not
time
all,
happiness.
wow.
Full time little joy pony.
Larger than part time, more than part
No,
time.
Okay.
but I believe, but I know you're not bullshitting. That's amazing.
And and I
'Cause
want to.
you do the work too. I mean, you do the
but
work.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
And then you had mentioned too. I think there's some spirit. There's some guidance. Some like it's like the things that come to you, the email or the show or whatever that you didn't expect. That was a chance encounter. I think for me, like there's some, like I became a stand-up and I never even wanted to be a stand-up. I didn't even know, and it fell into my lap. And, you know, I had that first great set that kept me coming back, but I didn't choose that. Stand-up chose me. So I think there's something greater than myself working in my life that's guiding me and allowing me. And this is what I think, you know, and I've talked to you about this, Dustin. It's like, you're so talented and you're so, no. You're so castable and you're so talented and you're so funny. And good things are going to happen for you. Good things.
Name of the podcast.
I see I dropped that in there. Good things are going to happen for you. And this is what I think. I think you need to be ready for those good things, to be happy, to be ready for you know, to be ready for it and to be able to handle it. Because, you know, there's a saying, God's not going to put in your life what you can't handle.
Yeah.
But the sooner we become spiritually grounded or whatever and able to handle bigger things, these bigger things come.
It's so true.
That's,
you know,
so
that's
true. Because like the universe, it's like the universe will conspire in your favor when you're ready.
That's it. I think so.
Because I don't think, I mean, people talk like you don't feel, who feels ready? Like, you know, I think there are different levels of ready, but I think that's exactly right. It's like when I'm meditating and when I'm going to God first, not going to my fucking weird Instagram feed of someone's chicken cacciatore from the night before.
Yes,
It's like, my day takes care of itself.
Yeah.
If I just go to the, morning
Yeah.
routine and not.
And
the
this is
bullshit.
life, like it's like
Yeah.
we're not gonna get another one. It's like you got to be happy wherever you're
Right?
at, And I've come to that realization too, and I've had it
Yeah.
where I'm like, this is as good as it gets. This is pretty fucking awesome,
Yeah.
Right?
I'm able to go out, do stand up,
Mhm.
Yeah.
sold out shows, not sold out shows, but like
I'm saying sold out.
Well, they make
No, I'm
money.
saying
Sold
sold
out
out.
shows.
I'm saying sold out.
Sold out shows when
You
you're
got
that
merch?
into the
You're
universe.
selling your merch and it's sold out.
Yeah.
Sold out shows when you're opening for
Yes.
somebody.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, dude. No, but it's like a good life,
It
know?
is.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm happy,
And also that's the thing about sobriety too. Like then we don't know what's around the corner.
no.
You know what I mean? Like
That- I
we see
love
here,
that
but
in
God
life,
sees
yeah.
like around. So that's the coolest thing. It's like I'm not dating anyone right now, but I assume someone like it's
Yeah.
gonna, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
but literally there's no one, but I'm not in that negative thing. Like there's no one. It's like,
Yeah. Me neither.
it's not
That's
happening
good.
right now.
Things happen
Yeah.
quick too.
Things can happen
Yeah.
quick. Yeah.
Mhm.
I hear
Yeah.
that from my astrologer.
What's next for you?
Generally.
Yeah, generally. What's next? What do you got on? You did your one-man show
I'm
in
gonna
Edinburgh.
do my show here, and then I'm gonna take it to New York at the United Solo Festival. Gaslighting is my
Oh,
love
nice.
language, my
Okay.
solo
Gaslighting
show,
is
and then
my
I'm gonna
love
take it back
language.
to Leicester. So I'm looking to do it like a full run. So Leicester has
Wow.
a festival like near London, so
Mhm.
I like being a little international. And then just doing stand up,
Yeah.
pitching Bitter Homes, and trying to get on Raya.
Nice,
It's gonna
nice.
happen.
Yeah,
Put
yeah.
it on
and
the
even if
vision
it doesn't,
board.
it's God's will.
It's
Yeah.
got- yeah,
It's okay. I'm gonna
Hey.
meet him at Temple.
Hey, maybe you'll end up Christian Mingle, Maybe
Hey,
that'll
maybe,
be out
I'm
there.
open.
Yeah, maybe.
I met a dentist on eHarmony.
Oh, okay.
I
Wow.
had teeth problems, and then I met a dentist.
That's a real feel good story. Yeah. I feel like all I get is like burial vault delivery driver. Or like I fucking run a mobile notary and I'm like, suck my dick, Marvin. I'm not dating someone who runs a mobile notary. Like I went to Ivy League. Okay. Just stop.
I hope it says it on the side too. Mobile notary.
Yeah.
God,
I'm like,
jeez.
please. Like I'd rather a fucking graphic designer with IBS. Like I can't.
He does that so he can write off his car. I bet. For tax purposes.
I know. I was like,
it's
should I
good.
change my Hinge preferences to just widower? I like want a guy who's ravaged by loss.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Ooh.
But-
Hello.
oh.
Ooh.
We're so spontaneous here. I love
Hang
it. I'm
on,
like,
it's God.
I know.
Hi, God. We're gonna have a show with all three of us on it. Oh, that's great.
All
Sitcom.
right, we'll make that happen. I love
Nice.
that.
Bitter
I'll
Homes and comedians.
open. You guys will be guest stars on Bitter Homes. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
This went by so fast.
It did.
It did.
This was so
a very
fun.
knowledgeable episode. This
was fun.
I forgot we were on a podcast.
I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I had a blast. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for having
This
me.
was fun.
It's
Where
really
can
fun.
where can people find you?
fieldingedlow.com has
Okay.
all my upcoming dates. Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice. Well, what a great conversation. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Loved it. Thank you.
And I want to see your one woman show, one man show.
I would love for you
Yeah.
to see my one man show.
Yeah, when's it gonna? Is it gonna be here?
October
Any-
17th and 18th at the Elysian.
Okay.
They have a new space. It's you guys know the Elysian
Yeah.
Theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called the Vault. They just opened it.
Okay,
it's like
cool.
very little. So yeah, I'd
Nice.
love for you
I'm
to be
definitely
there.
gonna be there.
Oh, I love it.
I
Thank
want to
you.
learn more about one woman shows.
I could see you
Yeah.
touring a one man show.
Hey,
With some props.
that's the thing. I'd be wacky.
With some origami and a vision board.
I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
come on stage in a scooter or something.
I
it'd
could
be cool.
totally see that. Yeah, or like run through the aisle. Like on a
Oh my
live
god!
scooter.
Like I'm an audience
Yeah,
member.
yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, and then like doing some kind of cannonball run shit.
That's cool. Okay, well, this has been awesome. Thank you
Thank
again.
you.
Thank
Loved
you.
it.
I don't know if we've ever said this. We probably have an ending. If you like this podcast, you made it all the way to the end. Share it, subscribe it, tell your friends.
Yes.
We appreciate you very, very much. We also have Good Things Are Happening t-shirts on our website,
Mhm.
and which are really cool. I wore it out the other day, and all these people complimented me and said, "Oh my God, that
Ooh.
shirt is amazing." So if you want
Mm.
compliments and people to notice you and feel like your best self, buy a Good Things Are Happening shirt. But thank you guys so much for listening.
See ya. That was awesome. I'm Dustin Ibarra.
I'm Greg Baldwin.
Find us on social media and on the web at goodthingspod.com.
You can also find us on Instagram and YouTube at Good Things Are Happening Podcast.
We're on Patreon. Sign up because we're going to have some cool stuff on there.
Like really, really, really cool stuff.
So dope, we can't even talk about it. And remember, when life gets you down, good things are happening.
Good things are happening. Help somebody.